Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is the Rise of a Nation, it is episode 38. I've actually just finished episode 37 and it's the day after we have played AGF in a massive game. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out last episode. Also, we're live on stream, links down below, like and subscribe. You know the general gist of what I'm going to plug. Anyhow, the reason why I've come back is I didn't think for sixth we're actually going to get any money, but we got 714k for the first time in my life. It's only the top six that get paid. Wow, that is massive. So the top six get paid. I would imagine that we're actually all getting paid here in the relegation zones here, and in the top flight as well. But yeah, that's massive. So I reckon we've actually got ourselves an extra 100k just there at the end of this 11 game midway point of the season by winning the last game out and jumping OB as well. This is also the first time in the club that we've had over 1 million in the club as well, and hopefully we'll be okay and continue to grow the balance. If that's how it's going to be in the league and everyone's going to get paid that sort of money, we are going to finish this season well in the profit land and really, really good. While I'm here as well, I want to see if the board will give me some more money here as well. I've clicked, but the game's not doing anything, which is great. And we'll just try and see if we can just get this done. Finances, increase next season transfer budget and transfer revenue. No. All right, we're going to leave this all now at the minute and just let the money sit there in the club. But yeah, this is for the first time that I've ever seen us, had more than this. And they're really, really happy with how everything's going. Apart from our finances, we're doing really well. And look, I honestly think that the club's going onwards and upwards. This episode, I do not know what it's going to be just of yet. It does depend a lot on the THRU game, but we'll see you guys, whatever that is going to be. Hopefully it is a league and cup double, because we did get past THRU and into the fourth round of the cup, which is where the board wants us to be. However, if it's not or whatever, we'll figure something else out to do at the end of this season. But yeah, main thing to take away from this, 714k, we have 1 million in the balance. It's good to see, and I'll see you guys for actual gameplay in just a second. Hello YouTube, welcome back to episode 38. I think it's the day after filming this. I don't know, the last 24 hours has been super stressful outside of Football Manager, personal life stuff. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is, instead of getting into today's two games, which is AAB and then we got Coach in the Cup, is to actually have a chat about mental health. And I'm actually going to go and say, hey, look, if there's someone that watches this and, I only average 10 views an episode and it's usually the same 10 guys or whatever. But if there's someone out there that watches this and they're struggling with mental health any sort of way, put it in the comments. Let's have a chat. I've had a really stressful day. Relationship stuff can be quite stressful, especially when it is subject to not even the two people in the relationship that seems to be issues. Anyhow, so what that means is today, not for the very first time, I think, in this save, but one of the very few times I'm actually not live. Just to let everyone know that I kind of played up until I think the Randers game. I then played Nord and THRU, who I will recap in a second. And I played Bromby and OB kind of on stream, but you could kind of really tell that I had my mates messaging me and say, David, what is really wrong with you? And I kind of half broke down on stream, turned the stream off. And that was 7 hours ago. So the fact that it's been it's about 7 hours. I've been on bed, haven't been able to get out of bed all day, but just been moping around, which is not nice. I'm usually a very energetic and very out there person. I think you can tell with my streams and that. I highly do recommend, usually, down below. And we'll always recover, right? I hope, anyhow. So we're not on live, and I played Vigil finally, right? I've been getting ready for coaching because I had to get out of bed. And now I'm just I really do wish I played today till this game. But obviously things were going on. So, like I said, down in the comment section below, mental health check. If there's someone out there, please, open discussion, have it in the comments. If you're in the Discord and you need to personally inbox me, I'm there, right? At least if I can make someone else feel better, then maybe I feel better about my situations and everything like that. Back to Football Manager. I said we were going to give you this Sky Bay Bockling 4-round. It nearly didn't happen. This was a crazy game of football. We semi-rotated. Semi-rotated. Anderson played in the hole. Leafy and Hansen played. And Hansen had a really good game. Christensen and Sararas played. Roberts played. Lawson played. Razzers because of the injury and the shoe played. And if it wasn't for the shoe, right, we would have been out of this game. And if it wasn't for Ben Nelson, who came off the bench and scored for Zahora, I think I took off, we really were in trouble. As you can see, probably on the left-hand side, we had enough chances to really win this game. And being 2-0 up and having chances to go 3-0 up and goal disallowed was really, really interesting. We actually had a goal disallowed. And then from the subsequent free kick of the offside conceded in the same minute. But yeah, it was a game that, look, at 2-0, we thought, oh yeah, Hivador, third division, it's just an easy win. And then things just started falling in for him. By the way, that goal from the shoe could be a goal of the year contender. What a volley. And he is just really good. And then in the end, the shoe's going to get on the end of this as well from Frederick Anderson. I think it's from Frederick Anderson. Like, this game was a couple of days ago. It is. Gets a bit lucky, right? And then we just started conceding. Like, this just comes from the offside. The highlight was still going from the offside as well. And they went down the other end as a header, and Razza should do better. And Razza's not at the level. We've obviously had to keep Robert be injured in that. I'm going to keep Razza for as long as possible, though. And then we just gift them a goal here with a poor back pass, and the guy does well. It's a good finish. Yeah, Razza, maybe his Nippo should do better, but those guys flying all the time on FM. And then next minute, 85th minute pen, which I don't think by memory was there. I will double check that in the end. And it took us to the 90th minute. I thought we were out. I thought this was a pointless highlight and was getting ready to go live. And then I also thought it was offside and Ben Nelson was just on. Yet again, great ball from Jeppe Hansen. And then next minute, we go in the 101st minute and we get ourselves 4-3 ahead. Ben Nelson off the bench yet again. He's been scoring a lot in the 19s. It's good to see him when push came to shove, come in and really sell us this game. Anyway, we do get a goal in here. In the end, keeper should do better. We're lucky it falls to Kenny. I actually moved Kenny out wide in this game, only because we just had people that weren't fit. And then in the end, the shoe scores his hat-trick. And at 6-3, I think it's game over. We do concede one really late here. It's a header, which Razza drops. And in the end, it gets cleared and Sarara as it goes in. And I told the boys that, hey, that wasn't really good enough, right? I didn't think that we played particularly well. Now, I'm pretty sure this penalty was not a pen by memory, but my memory might be wrong here. We've conceded... Oh, my God, of course. My memory may not serve me as well as I would like. Can we go back 10 seconds and another 10 and another 10 and another 10? Or maybe it was a pen, because I thought it was happening down here, so maybe I'm thinking of a different game. So many of these. Yeah, it's a pen. Never mind. I must be thinking of a different game. We considered a penalty down the right-hand side. Look, we were lucky enough to get through Hivador. Code had to play a game against a third division side, I think, by memory, in the Skybait Poclian. Holderbeck, and they beat them. So there we go. So today's game is our last game in the league, and the lowest pot we can be in is 8th. But look at the bit of the difference here. AGF are on 11 points. We're on 24. Look, it's going to really take us to really go on a long losing streak before 24 games are played. So probably lose the rest of our games. And then go on a bit of a losing streak in the league, 22 games, by the way. And then go on a losing streak for the last 10 games. And really maybe only get 1 or 2 wins. I think if we get 1 or 2 wins, we really are around the sort of... around the sort of phase where we probably stay up. 30 points is enough. We're already on 24. It's 2 wins away. So all of a sudden, if we start thinking like that, we're in a very good spot to stay up, and it looks like we're staying up. The last thing I want to say before we get into this game as well, apart from obviously the mental health and how we got through to the cup, is that financially we are hurting a lot. We have a mil balance, and we are keeping that mil balance relatively well. We're not going to drop too far below a mil by the end of the season. We're not going to, obviously be too high above a mil either. But we were really hurting here. I'm hoping that after the Coach game, maybe for next episode, we'll start it, that the board come back to me and say, hey, do you want to change your expectations? I go, yeah, I don't want to finish bottom this season or just avoid relegation, which we should do. And the board gives me, an extra K or 2 worth of budget. I'm actually hoping that the board really goes in and just... I really just hope that the board really goes in and just, says, look, we've got more money in the club. Here's a new calculated wage and transfer budget. Or I can ask them for it. They've always rejected saying our financial position isn't great. But for the first time in the club's history, our finances are insecure, but we have over $1 million in the club. So that could be really huge. Last thing I'm going to say is Jeppe Hansen is suspended. I've had Frederick Anderson out injured as well. Look how well he's grown because he's been playing first team football. I honestly think this guy could be the best player at this football club. Him and Frank are the 2 guys that I'm like, wow. And hopefully he continues to do that. But unfortunately, he's out injured today, and we are starting to run a little bit short on midfielders as well, but mercifully we're towards basically the end of the season as well. I have been playing the shoe and bum the jar here together. It's important to note that Christian he is the bee's knees at the moment as well, and we're good. Anyway, Robert's back in goals, and he's been really good for us since coming back from injury, which is good. Callum, obviously, Fernandez and Christensen, who has been also, I can't sing his praises enough, he's been amazing as well. And Lawson out at left back. Kenny and Bassagard, I probably might move them around, because I think Kenny's a better ball-winning midfielder than Leafy as well. And as you can see there, Kenny really is. And he's wanted by Firewood. So it kind of just shows you where some players are. Like, if Kenny's wanted by Firewood, he's on a first-team contract, and we're 37K, and he looks like that, even though his form's not been great, we're getting a position where players are starting to be wanted by decently reputable clubs. And yet again, if I can convince the board to give me, hey, here's a 60% of the transfer revenue, and we send him on for a mil or two, all of a sudden that's enough money to probably keep me afloat, and maybe even keep Zahora. We do have Frank obviously up top there with Bum the Jar. Zahora's in the middle there as well, and Frank's been looking really good too, and been playing his role as well. Anyway, we are going to go in and proceed into this match as well. And we are just going to go into here. Sorry, my phone's going off. And we are the underdogs here, and we are going to go into the opposition, ask the assistant, and there we go. We are going to get into that. I think it's positive for Lucia. There we go. I do have to respond to this. I'm just going to let this go. Anyhow, away we go. So it's them in the blue, it's us in the white. Highlight from kickoff, which is always nice. And here we go. Sorry for the awkward silence. And yeah, Lawson there and Frank. I'll respond to that in a second. And Frank's long ball looking for Bub Najar volleys. Oh my, what a goal. 16 seconds on the clock, and Bub Najar scored an absolute banger. Maybe Football Manager just knows, right? Because we beat Vigil last game in the league. And as you could see when we were on stream, we're just losing. I've had 7 hours off and just come back, and we beat Vigil in a game that was very even. Vigil was second and now fourth, and all of a sudden we've scored inside 15 seconds in. It's a great goal from Bum the Jar as well. So maybe Football Manager just knows that I've been having a rough day today, and I ended the stream and I've had a really rough day, that maybe they're starting to give me a couple of results here. Anyway, Anderson now with the ball on his right-hand side, and Kenny doesn't win it back. He put in a good tackle, but it falls back to him. But that should be Leafy Bagger's guard, and he's really good, Leafy, and I do really like him. And in the end, Frank is quick, and Frank's away, and Frank for 2-0 is going to go across the keeper. No, try to go near stick, and in the end, I think Frank should do a lot better there, and really, really, really should be, I was going to say, really should be hitting the target in that situation. Anyway, 12 minutes in. And look, before the ball comes in and before they score from this set piece here on the volley, yeah, it's a great goal. I was going to say, we don't really concede too much from the first phase of corners, right? It's either those sort of goals have been flying in against us where the ball goes back out to them and they put it back in, or we go on the break. Corners aren't really worrying me too much. The one time I said that on stream yesterday, they actually scored direct from the corner. And that's obviously a great goal. So this game's had 2 great volleys in it, and that's the reason why we're at 1-1 here. I am going to move us to positive, especially at home. I feel like we can eat this game as well. And a draw is not a bad result. It's another point towards survival. We're not looking to make the 6. We're not looking to, fight to get into European spots or anything like that. If it just happens, it happens. Keeper comes and Zahora won't get there. We've seen Zahora get there a bit before. Just a word on Zahora. He scores in games, and then in other games he doesn't do the job as well. I feel like he's definitely a bit of a small team bully. Teams as Prickra's got in here. I don't understand how he's in. In the end, Robert is beat. When 2-1 down against the runner play, really. Football Manager heard me say that, hey, maybe they know. And then they go, no, we're just being the same old usual, giving you hope and taking it away. We love this game, don't we? But yeah, Zahora's been a bit more of a small team bully. So teams that are in and around our level or below us, like Kojin, that he seems to score relatively well. It's just the games where we're playing against teams of equal quality or pretty much a lot of the division that's better than us, and we seem to just, thankfully that's gone over. He just seems to go a little bit missing at times. Sometimes he will score and sometimes he doesn't. Anyway, big game this for AAB, because if they're trying to do something this year, they really need to beat us. But really, 1-0 up, having chances, should have done better. The fact that we conceded 2, a bit annoying, especially the second one. It looked like our highlight, and then we just played pinball. If they score from another set piece, I'll be livid. Ball in back stick, headed at goal. And like I said, we don't really concede from set pieces, but the last few games, all of a sudden, this has been creeping in, conceding from corners. We by the way, I don't think we've scored from one actual corner. We've had a couple of moments where it's come out the box or whatever, but yeah, and all of a sudden, this has been happening. Robert should do a lot better, and all of a sudden, at half-time, we're 3-1 down, and it's not exactly what I want to see. I am going to go for this game here. We are going to do that. I am going to get Leafy off, and I'm going to get Christensen into a bit more of an advanced playmaker and attack. I am going to get off and I am going to bring in the shoe up top. And look, the shoe is a man for all occasions. He loves it, right? He does. He really does love the division, and he's performed. He's also one of the men that is running out of contract because he wants to be an important player, and I can't really afford to say to the shoe, play week in, week out either. But I will try and tie him down eventually as well. Anyway, Frank Lawson, ball in, the shoe off the bench. Full Zahora, he was offside. Wow, I actually think, look, when Lawson plays this, Zahora's offside and then comes back on. I don't know why that's counted. He looks off here. Just watch Zahora's movement. When Frank whips this ball in, he actually moves forward. Oh, maybe they pushed up at the same time. It's really, really, really close. Really close. But mercifully, we get there. We're going to see a highlight here. It looked really close live. See, to me, he's just off. Like that half a toe off. But look, we'll take that. It's a way back into the game. Zahora scores straight away in the new system. And I'm going to, the 4-2-4 has worked in games to go after games as well this year. Obviously, the cup game I showed against Hivador, and other times we've just fallen away, like most times against Brondby. And Prick was in here, and he's hit the outside of the post. Will be noted, Brondby do play with a free striker formation, and it's just no matter what you do, it kills you. Anyhow, look, very open game this one here. If we could snatch a free draw, I would take it. Anyhow, both midfielders not really having the greatest day out there, and I don't really have too much to really go to. I'm actually going to bring Hukic in as deep line playmaker support. Since his injury, he's really found it hard to get back into the team, and I'm just going to confirm that and go into that as well. Important to know, Bubnajar is having a better game than Frank, and I'm very tempted to get the shoe out wide and get Frank off, but Frank can change a game at any point, and I don't particularly want to do that. Anyhow, the ball finds Fernandez, and Fernandez now finds Mr. Roberts. Roberts now with a chance to go down the line, and he does. And Bumnajar usually is very quick, but didn't even bother. And back to the keeper who goes long. And can we win it? No, it's a great kick from the keeper. And Vidot's got time and space and numbers, and Prickers in, and this is it, isn't it? He put it wide. It was offside anyway. And at some stage, we will have to go a little bit more direct here to try and find a equaliser. And again, that we're leading 1-0 anyway. 80 minutes play. Bubnajar looks a little bit legless, but I don't particularly want to take him off of how this game has been going. I'm just going to do this, pass it in space, do that. I'm going to go over there, take longer kicks, and just do that. I'm going to bring Ben out there and move the shoe. It feels bad doing that as well. And I'm going to bring Dulce out there too. He scored a really nice goal in the league as well. Last game out as well, which was the sealer. Anyway, they got a set piece here, and if we can get on the ball, you just never know if we could break. But they've got numbers in and around the set piece too. Ball gets out the video. We need to win it here. Come on, Lawson. No, this is coming in the box, isn't it? It is. Oh, Christensen wins it. Zahora, I need you to be big. Knocks down Christian. Runners, where are you? Hukic looks. Zahora, quick. Come on, boys. This could be free. Zahora, big moment. Oh, see, in the division below, Zahora would have scored. Here, he misses. It's just that little things, is that big moments this season. Zahora hasn't done it as well as previous. Anyhow, Christian Ramilson can put a ball in, but we're not known for this, and in the end, the keeper's done superbly well. And I think this is all she really wrote here, boys. Unless it's going to come really late, and we're not known for scoring late goals this season, then who knows? And it's a highlight here for something, God knows what. I'm just going to quickly highlight this. Checking a penalty. Happened outside the box. Interesting place to have a VAR check without even seeing the foul or anything. It's usually for a push in those situations as well. But we'll see what happens. Look, a goal for them kills us. If we can go on the break, though, it would be great. These set pieces have been flying in against us. And in the end, ball in, free header. In the end, Roberts saves. I would imagine that's the highlight here. I was going to say it looks like the highlight. Unless it was Robert going long. Another highlight. They lump it. And it's game over. They get the fourth. We've been pushing, maybe a few different fouls, a bit legless. And look, in the context of this season, losing here isn't the worst thing, but it kind of does reside us to, look, we are just fighting to stay up. And really, this is maybe a chance of getting another 3 points drop because AAB are around our level. But at the same time, we haven't played particularly bad. It's been even in stats. And yeah, it just is what it is as well. But look, at the end of the day, this Coach game coming up is the bigger game of the two today, right? The Coach game, winning that one would be massive. Zahora's going to have a chance here. Now that it's game over, he's going to score, isn't he? He chips the keeper. See, there's the difference. At 3-2, Zahora doesn't do that. He now blasts at the keeper. At 4-2, Zahora chips the keeper, and it's 4-3. And it probably deserves to be only a 1-goal deficit. It's a very even game out here. And if anything, it probably deserved to have been a point at a minimum. But unfortunately for ourselves, it's just one of those days. I'm going to tell him I'm happy. And that's the easy thing about keeping morale, is that because we're predicted to be so bad this year and we're having such a good year, that games that we lose, We can keep morale quite high just by saying, hey, I expected you guys to do better. But, you've done quite well, and there we are. And in the end, that's the thing. Zahora in the big moments this season has missed. But in the moments where it hasn't needed to count, he has scored. There's been a couple of times he's opened the scoring, but a lot of his goals this year has been we're 2-0 up in the games Zahora scores, right? 1-0 up in a game and we're dominating Zahora scores, right? It's not been we're 2-1 down, a 3-2 down, late doors, Zahora chance, goal. Unlike last year, Zahora, every opportunity scored. In terms of when I'm going to do this next coach game, it'll either be when I come back from coaching or tomorrow or something. So just play it by ear, but for YouTube, it doesn't matter. You're going to see it just like that. For me, it might be a couple of hours. It might be nothing. It might be whatever. It just depends how tonight goes. Let me know in the comment section as well. Like I said before, please let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a sec. Welcome back, YouTube. It is part 3 of episode 38. Could you imagine this was 83? Would we have won a Champions League by episode 83? Let me know in the comment section below. I doubt it highly by episode 83. Anyhow, it is us. We do have Coach. It's currently 11:45 p.m. at night. I've had a night and a half. Yep, great. That's what we'll say. So hopefully Football Manager doesn't dick me around right now. We just need to go out here, win this game, get into the quarterfinal for the first time, and hopefully be A-OK. Since then, nothing much has happened. What I will do is that after this game, I may sim forward, and if the board or anything happens with new money or anything like that, I'll put it in episode 39, and that is where we will start. And obviously, next episode will be us coming back from the mid-season break and just seeing where the club is and everything like that. In terms of the team, we'll send everyone on rest, so everyone should be fit and healthy for this game here. But we should have Jeppe Hansen back into the team, and we do. And he's going to obviously come straight in for Kenny Milford. Kenny, obviously, great ball-booting midfielder, is very good at that. Can also play box-to-box. He is great. He at times has a bit of interest from Firewood, and sometimes he wanes. But Jeppe is just growing next level to the point where I actually think Frank Anderson's injury is a blessing in disguise. It's allowed this guy to play first-team football. He's growing so well, and even when he was injured and growing, whatever. And this is only one below a wonder kid, and he keeps switching between young midfielder, promising midfielder. If he's a promising midfielder and he does get there, he's going to be really, he's going to be really good for us at the level. Me and Jeppe Hansen, we just need to go and just keep building him and just keep him playing well and keep him in the first team, and hopefully we can build around him. Same with Kenny Milford. Before we get into this game, and we may lose now that I'm going to say this, is that Zahora, if we can keep him, Christian Rasmussen's unbelievable. Hansen and Milford are worth building around, and Christensen and Bubba are decent enough at the level, but where Tony Christensen is unbelievable. We've got a decent base. Yeah, we could probably get a better keeper eventually, but that's not needs to be done. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7 guys. The whole base in the middle of the park is not bad to build around. You then got Frank, and you got Bum Najaho really good, and then all I have to add in is some fullbacks, and all of a sudden you get a little bit of a mix of the team. And maybe something that we do look for is that, and maybe, firstly, the reason we're doing so well is that the spine of the team is good enough for the division, which is great. And maybe something that we do look for in the window, if the board does give us money, whatever, is an experienced fullback on either side. And then all of a sudden, I think the team does look in better shape, and we're definitely staying up. And we might even make a top 6 run if that is the case, if the board gives us money. But I think the first thing we have to do is hope the board gives us money so we can tie down Zahora. But yeah, so we got a bit of a base. The team looks good, and Hansen and Milford worth building around. And with Anderson being injured, Jeppe's gone next level. Yeah, he's not getting the most craziest average ratings, but midfielders seem to not do that anyway, and he's growing so well that he's definitely either going to be A, a really good player for us, or B, someone's going to come in and make a massive bid. Now, back to this game in here against Coach. They're having a really shocking time in the league. They're dead last. We beat them in the league 6-2. If this was the Coach team of last year, I'd be a little bit more, they can FM us here. The matter of the fact that we are playing away from home does give me that little bit of a sense of but we are coming quite full strength. If we score an early goal here, I really do think that we're going to make the quarterfinal for the first time in the club's history. And obviously our history in charge, we have the same history. But it is the standard usual that they are going to line up 5 at the back, sit really deep, look to FMU. And a lot of their results last year came from the fact that and the reason they got up was the fact that they were able to sit deep, and then FMU on the break, and it was a lot about how, they might have 5 shots, 1 on target, score 1. Will you score? And, sometimes you might have 20 shots, 1 on target, they'll score 2. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game plays out. In the first 20 minutes, they've actually, had a couple of chances, and we've done anything. I'm going to move the positive because we're going to get a lot of the ball. And even though we're in a direct system, 55% of the ball is a lot for me. And now that it's eked up towards 57, now they've gone to positive, kind of just shows that we are starting to get into the game. The one thing I will say as well is Snore always seems to play well against me no matter what. Anyway, Frank heads down into Jeppe Hansen. He's good on the ball. He looks for Frank again. He finds Lawson, and Frank can come inside, and he does. He goes into Christian Ramilson. Great touch from him. Should finish and does. And that's the thing. The spine of the team is so good, and we do have quality out wide, like Bub Najjar and Frank. Frank's going to be unbelievable. Bub Najjar has the ability to do moments of madness where he just does something stupendous. And you just see it here. And honestly, if I had fullbacks, I honestly think that if I buy fullbacks, we're definitely staying up in the division. We're definitely never going to go down probably for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And in that time frame, if we keep the same team, it's just going to grow into the monster that we have. There's so many good youth, and it makes me so excited. Anyway, towards the end of the half, we've dominated here. And of course, Christian Ramilson, as I sing his praises, gets injured. But it's the first time we get to see Hukic back from his injury in his preferred role in a bit more of a first team setting. You know, Hukic at one stage was tutored to be a promising attacking mid and still developing quite well. What I do love about Hukic is that he's actually naturally quite taught 6'1" and throws his weight around. Obviously, Christian Ramilson, though, is a big part of how we play, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury, but we do have a big time off. Anyhow, set pieces is how codes usually... FMU. There you go. They've done nothing the whole game. Got a set piece, and it's 1-1 in the cup. What is new? It's very typical of how coach seem to go about their business. You know, they win a set piece, or they go on the break, and they just do something out of nothing, and there you are. Like, we had the better of this game. We may have not been great, but at the same time, it's a bit of a sunker punch to take. Anyway, 60-odd minutes played. We have been quite good here. The boys aren't playing overly well, but it is what's going on. And hopefully, we will continue on to be okay. We are going to bring the shoe in here. Bum does not have the best of the game. I'm going to stay in the same system, though, and the shoe knows how to create something out of nothing as well. But I'm also not going to overcommit to putting in midfielders or putting in too many people with extra time coming up. What is going on out here? They are butchering us. Referee, get a grip. So we have a second injury now of the game. We'll move him as inside forward on attack here, Henrik Duas. And there we go. And now we get Frank out injured. So it looks like Koja hell-bent on trying to FM us and then trying to kick us out the game. And that's not something that's really nice to see. Time is ticking away here, though. We move into extra time. And look, I feel like we've played I feel like we've played quite well so far. And like I say, yet again, because of our rep, we can say that a lot of the times the boys don't particularly mind. Time is ticking away here. I'm not going to really change the system. I feel like we're the better team and we're creating some chances. But at the same time, this game is not really doing everything that I need it to do. Kenny's actually going to come out. Oh, well, we can't make another sub. I thought we allowed one more here in extra time. Apparently not. All right, I'm going to start second half here. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to tell the boys to demand a little bit more here. I feel like we deserve the goal. And straight away, Roberts and the shoe link up. The ball in's okay, but it's cleared away. And it might be them on the break. And this is the only thing coach really have. Look, they have every man behind the ball. And that's what they do. They do it no matter what. They FM'd us last year in the promotion league. They picked up points against us in the league last year in Division 2. This year, because we have a bit more quality, we pumped them in the league. And here we are. We can't really seem to score, and this game's just been like this because of it. Anyway, it's going to fall to Zahora, and that's a block and a half. That was the slice of luck. They need to break down a Warlow 10, and in the end, Zahora last year would have scored. Today, misses, unfortunately. It's 10 minutes left. I would love a late goal here to send us to the quarterfinal for the first time ever. This is what the board expects, though, as they reach the fourth round, so they would be happy, but obviously making that quarterfinal for the first time in the club's history could be huge. I am going to move attacking here with the last few minutes of the game. Of course, as I do that, they've got a set piece. If they score, I'll be livid. Headed over the bar. Thank Christ. Heart-fluttering moments. Hopefully we find one really late. And as we move to attacking, it's a highlight. Could be us getting hit on the break because they've actually left Jordan up here for a 1v1. But hopefully it's just Dus on the ball, which it is. And his ball inside finds Hukic. Not known for his long-range hitting. The shoe, though, he loves a moment. And there he is. It's the shoe. And how many important goals does he score? He scores on the rebound. And he may have just sent us, for the first time in the club's history, to the quarterfinal of the side bank Poclian. And look, it's always the shoe, isn't it? It's just always in the script that he comes in, he scores big goals, he just reacts quickest, and there we go. It's a great goal. It's 119th minute. I'm just going to go up. So I'm going to do it anyway. I don't think we need to go attacking, come off attacking, but we're just going to go to that just to time waste a little bit here. And hopefully there's not a highlight. There isn't. The shoe has sent us through late in extra time over Coge. And on the balance of play, we definitely deserved it. Their goal came from a set piece. They didn't really create too many clear-cut chances. They had a header from a set piece where we really saw it. And they tried to kick us out the game. They were physical. They caused 2 injuries. we deserve to get through that game big time. The fact they didn't get a booking was ridiculous, but it is what it is. And yet again, it's always the shoe. It's a great script, isn't it? He just scored so many important goals. Scored our first ever goal in the club. He scored 2 against FC21 when we played him in the league in Division 2, in the cup. You know, he scores so many big goals, and for a player of his quality and level, he just keeps on scoring, and he's done it again. Ren Wilson's actually out for 6 to 8 weeks, and it's only a pulled fire here as well. We actually get a K for that as well, which is really important. And yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to sim for the next 2 days here, YouTube in a second. I'll come back with the quarterfinal draw for the first time in our history. SFB are through to the quarterfinal, mainly on the bank of a good performance, and of course, thanks to the shoe yet again. Welcome back, YouTube. It is now time to find out who we will play in our first ever quarterfinal in the Side Bank Pockley. And I keep saying Sky Bank after like the betting company, but it's Side Bank. Now, look, you look at the teams down here. There is not too many teams that stick out that are like, oh my god, yeah, we want them. But at the same time, there's a few teams there that I put myself in the bracket that I can beat over 2 legs. OB, obviously we beat them in the league. We're 1-0 down. Obviously, big YouTube episode. The Flares were going off at home in our first ever derby in the Superliga. And then obviously, I don't think I recapped it in this episode, but we were 2-0 up against them. We lost 3-2 away from home. And so I think that means we would go for on away goals. I don't know if there's away goals or whatever, because I know these are played over 2 legs. I'm pretty sure the quarterfinals, semi-finals, 2 legs, and the finals 1. I think that's how it works here. I'm not sure. We'll just play it by ear. Obviously, Esbjerg on paper, right, are a very good team, but also on paper, we've beaten them a lot over the years when we were battling in the previous division. Obviously, in that first year in the first division there, in the second tier of the Denmark football leagues, they did a number over us. But then last year, especially in the playoff leagues, but boys, we're miles apart. I mean, our team's in a bit of a better shape. It's grown a bit more. Plus, it gives us a chance to play Danny Vilhelmosa, so I wouldn't mind Esbjerg. Lyngby are one of those sides that, it wouldn't surprise me if they're top of their division as of right now. The game's going to load. They're 7th. They are really struggling. They're a team that obviously were in the top flight, have a lot of money, have a lot of great players, and on paper just not doing it. If the season went on another 4 or 5 more games last year, they probably would have come up with us because they were on a bit of a rampant run. And then you look at the other teams here. Brøndby and FC Midtjylland, they flog us. FC Nords, we've beaten home and away this year. On paper, yeah, they're a miles better team. On paper, they have players worth 5 million, right? But at home and away, we've beaten them. And at home, it was 2-0 uncomfortable. Yeah, they're not in the greatest form. I wouldn't mind avoiding them, but they're also a team that if they can somehow make it to the semi, they're a team that I want, because that will give us a chance to make our first ever final. Vigil is a tricky one. Like, for me, that one there is a game that if I got it, I'll be like, but at the same time, I'll be okay with beating them away from home, and I know if we perform better than what we did when we lost 4-1 at home, we can maybe do a job against them. This would be a game we'd have to FM them in. OB and Lyngby is definitely 2 games that I'm like, I think they're very winnable. Esbjerg's a game that on our day we can lose, but on our day we will pump them. And then obviously we have got FC Midtjylland and Brøndby that are too good, and Nords that are just in between. So if we get drawn at home, we're going to get one of the biggest sides here. And if we get drawn away from home, you just never know. And first out's Lyngby, so this could be us. It's not. It's FC Midtjylland who are probably going to go through their semi-final. Brøndby come out. That won't be us because we are not of their level, and it's Vigil. So now we're either going to get FC Nords, OB, or Esbjerg. And I tell you what, all 3 of those ties are winnable. There's one tie that I really do want to get through, and that's the Esbjerg tie, because I do think that our team's in a better spot than last year. We beat them home and away last year. That game there is something I wouldn't mind. Esbjerg goes out. Now, this could be any one of these 3 teams. I do think after this, we'll be drawn at home against one of the last remaining teams. And out come SFB. Wow. So we are going to play a former foe in Esbjerg here in the quarterfinal. A team in the division below. A team that obviously are of quality, right? They're a team of quality. They're a team that should have come up the last year and the year before, and they currently are sitting first. They have finally, got a big enough points gap, and this probably is finally the year that they go up. Like, they should have been up last year. They definitely should have been up the year before, and even last year, they're in a spot to probably push for promotion. They went and lost 5 or 6 of their first 7 or 8 games in the promotion league, and they really screwed the pooch. So they're also a team that last year, I think we can do a job against. Like, I'm just having a look here, and Esbjerg, we drew 1-1. Esbjerg, we won 2-1 away from home. We beat them 4-1 in a friendly here. And then I'm looking from in the league. We lost 2-5 in a crazy game. And that's the thing, and we lost 2-4 here, that, we know on the day that if we're piss poor, they'll put us apart. We also know on our day that if everything goes to plan, we'll tear them to shreds. We will beat them. We are, when the push comes to shove, a team that can do it. By the way, Hukic scored a really late goal on that one. That's nice. So, look, on paper, a very easy draw. Also on paper, a game that historically is a bit more tricky for us. But the team has grown, the team's in a better spot, and hey, for our first ever quarterfinal draw and our first ever chance to play in the quarterfinal on the side, Bank Pocklian, this is a draw that is really good for us. Can we make our first ever semi-final? Hopefully we go find out. It's actually there. Is that over 2 legs? I will find that out right now if we can. It is over 2 legs. Is there away goal rules in that? Because we're drawing away from home first. Second leg rules. Away goals are used. All right, so away goals are used. Perfect, right? We get drawn away from home, which is even better. We're going to go there. It's got to be an opportunity to get through. If we're solid away from home, at home, I expect us to win. And hey, look, we're going to be in with a shot against Esberg in the quarterfinal of the Sideback Punk. That's your next episode. I'll see you there. It's going to be a crazy one. Thank you and goodbye.